Ndị be anyị ekeneni m unu ọzọ n'ụbọchị nke taata. Asịrị m unu ka ọ dịrị anyị na mma. Asị m na ihe adị ka echi na echi ada agwụ agwụ. Ndị ga-esi na-esonyela ihe a bụ Igbo Media, bụ ebe anyị si wee na-ewetara unu ya bụ ngalaba ozi a dị nnukwu mkpa. Anyị si ka anyị gosi unu gbasara maka ihe na-eme na Igbo community and obodo anụ anyị nọ n'ime ya. Dịka o si dị, ọ bụ na nke a bụ mbọsị izizi ị na-ezite chanel anyị bụ Igbo Media, gbaa mbọ rinne ka ị sọskraịbụ and share ya ka o rute ndị ọzọ aka. Maka na infọmeshọn anyị na-enye unu bụ ihe unu ga-ama gbasara maka ihe na-eme n'obodo a, anụkwunu mara ka unu si akwado na ya bụ ife bụ ya ka anyị si ka anyị drọpụ ọrụ bifo anyị gosi unu ihe anyị ji maka ya wee bịa. Ị ga-esi ya bụ ife anyị ji maka ya wee bịa, ị drọpụrụ anyị alụ gị ife iche gbasara maka ya bụ ife ndị niile ekwu n'iru akwụkwọ. Alright, over to you, sir.
Hilux vans and 150 motorcycles before they can release the 16 people they are holding captive. Let's take some tweets. This is from Odogu, who wrote, "For bandits and kidnappers to demand for 40 trillion and 150 brand new motorcycles means they wanted to liquidate Nigeria as a country to form another country of their own. Where can such amount of money come from, even when our budget is 27.5 trillion naira? Wow." Well, Osazu wrote, "It is almost 10 years since the Chibok girls were kidnapped, and 100 of the girls are still missing. In March 2024, about 500 people in Borno State, Kaduna State, and Sokoto State have been abducted. Abductions, kidnappings have gone worse. Where is the Nigerian government?" Dr. Abati.
Where is the Nigerian government when we have found ourselves in a situation whereby kidnappers, bandits are so audacious? They are asking for a ransom that is more than the national budget of the entire country. The budget for 2024 as passed is 28.7 trillion naira. Now they are asking for 40 trillion naira. And you know, the impudence of it is even what rankles. Where would they collect that 40 trillion naira from? Or maybe they are, you know, just negotiating with the hope that they will get you know, some amount, whatever amount they get. This is the reason why some people have been arguing that some of these bandits and all that, it shouldn't be so difficult to trace them, that they have bank accounts in Nigeria. Nigeria is the only country that we know that people, criminals, bandits, kidnappers, run bank accounts, despite the know your customer, KYC, that our banks claim that they do. That's why they are also asking for 150 motorcycles. Okay, let us even assume that those 150 motorcycles were available. Where would they collect the 150? Where would they take them to? I mean, how do they intend to collect that? And they're asking for 10 Hilux vans. Well, you know, this just shows, as I pointed out earlier on, you know, how hopeless our condition seems to have become, even in the midst of assurances that the government is running a hope agenda. The spokesperson for that community, the Giringora community in Kaduna State, said, well, even if you sell the entire community, you can't get, you know, 40 trillion naira. The challenge of government, seeing this situation in which the people have found themselves, is to pay more attention to security. The people of that community, they said the bandits come through certain routes, forests, bushes surrounding the community. Is there a way government can help them, both the state government and the federal government? The people also say that they were attacked twice in 1 week. 2 persons were killed, 16 were abducted. Twice in 1 week. We have had other cases in that same Kaduna State where bandits will operate on a daily basis for 3-4 days. And there will be no help from the security agencies. So this is just another wake-up call for the authorities about the seriousness of the crisis that we face. As for agriculture, I thought I had those children choosing to become farmers. right?
I think they were quite confused until after the governor said, you know, a governor is a farmer, because he's a farmer governor, right?
But in any
They
case,
measure governor this time.
I think they were
but in any
Which
case,
is how to become farmer in Nigeria.
that was
we
state
need
managed.
to promote it.
That was state managed for the optics.
Yeah.
If you look at those children, these are children that are still at the nursery level.
Yeah.
You know, at the stage where they're still impressionable. They're dressed in national colors
great.
to praise and welcome President Tinubu. So this is good for the photo opportunity purpose that it serves.
Yeah.
But I think the more important thing is that we have in Niger State a governor who says he has a Niger agenda focusing on agriculture.
Yeah.
We hope that we have the resources, the courage to sustain it, and that, you know, the relevant agencies will provide security so that the farmers can have access to their farms.
Right.
President Tinubu was there also supporting the state, saying that this is a bold initiative and asking other states to follow the example. The states to also come together, you know, and have an MOU and explore each other's competitive advantage in the area of agriculture, because indeed it would be a great shame if Nigeria, a country with such vast areas as for agriculture, cannot feed itself.
Yes.
This country once fed itself.
Right.
This country once made money from agric. Cocoa House in Ibadan was built by the Awolowo administration with cocoa money. Yeah. Revenue from agriculture. That's why that building is called Cocoa House. I think it's a 25-story building. You know, but today, people find it difficult to even have food to eat.
Absolutely.
So the green initiative that the government has embarked upon, or was it the green imperative that the Minister of Agriculture called it in Niger State, I think is something that the Tinubu administration must take seriously in terms of ensuring food security and also food self-sufficiency. What do they use? Food sufficiency,
yes,
you know, in Nigeria.
Well said, Dr. Abati.
Yes.
Well, all right, we'll take another story. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has come under fire on social media after he was seen in a viral video advertising aircraft in an Airbus facility in France. The minister, in a post on X, also announced that the federal government is engaging with leading aircraft leasing companies in France to facilitate the leasing of Airbus aircraft to Nigeria's private airline operators. Let's take a look at the video before we take some reactions.
This is the factory of the manufacturing giants, aircraft manufacturing giants Airbus, in Toulouse, France. You can't see anything bigger than this. Now look at, this is the aircraft for Nigeria. This is the jack of all trades for Nigeria, the A220 family, right? We have also this, okay, the A220, but this one is the Nigerian aircraft, what you see all the time in Nigeria. Now look at this. This is the mind-blowing one. This is the A350, okay? If you get into these aircraft, you will see heaven on earth. Awesome aircraft. And we are trying to get some of these into the country with our private airline operators. We want to make the conditions conducive enough for the aircraft leasing companies to have faith in us to bring these aircrafts into Nigeria. But this is the major factory of Airbus in Toulouse. Thank you.
Well, all right, let's take some tweets. Now, this is from Iroha. He wrote, well, meet Comrade Festus Keyamo, the new sales manager for Airbus Industries Toulouse, France. Nigerians are doing wonderful everywhere in the world. Niger to the world. This is from Kalu Aja, who wrote, is the Nigerian government going to buy a new Airbus jet? No. Is the Nigerian government going to finance the purchase of an Airbus jet? No. Will Airbus set up a factory or maintenance yard in Nigeria? Possibly, if you buy more Airbus planes, so back to 1 and 2. Will Airbus set up a training facility in Nigeria? Again, possibly, if you buy more Airbus planes, so back to 1 and 2. So why are you in France with a government-funded entourage? This is our Minister of Aviation. He's out there in France touring the Airbus facility. Yeah. I mean, I think that, you know, it's such a loud message at this point. I mean, I do admire the initiative because I believe that it is to benefit the Nigerian aviation space if you are going to import. But at this point, aren't we supposed to be having our own manufacturing plants, or even just to have a hangar for maintenance facility? We don't even have that yet. Ayo.
All right, so you're right. You said at this point, shouldn't we have our own manufacturing plant? We're supposed to be celebrating 1 year anniversary of that. If we were to go by the promise made by the previous Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, under the Buhari administration in 2021, he also made a similar visit to Magnus, an airplane manufacturing company, and he said that following that discussions with them, by 2023, that was 2 years after his visit in 2021, Nigeria would start manufacturing aeroplanes. Well, this is 2024, and guess what? The new Minister of Aviation is now going to Airbus to advertise and talk about the benefits. I mean, on one hand, one of the reasons for his visit is to enable, you know, just engender goodwill between companies in France who are makers of the Airbus jet and also Nigerian local players so that we can benefit. However, we are having a conversation that ought to have been had many years ago, when what we should be talking about is investment. We keep talking about the fact that we should, you know, Nigeria is the investors' destination. The fact that we should attract people who would come, and the effect of that, number one, creating more jobs for Nigerians. Number two, FX, the pressure on our FX, being able to locally assemble or locally manufacture. There are many gains from that. But what we saw there is an influencer going to tell us the benefits of Airbus so that we can really be excited. It is the things that they think we ought to be excited about. We are speaking in the future, the conversations that ought to have been had in the past. So what should we do? Where are we now? Are we now going back to that conversation? We're not impressed by that, unfortunately. Good for us that we're going to get, hopefully, and by the way, there's no agreements yet as to whether that was successful and Airbus would come to some form of, deal with our Nigerian players. But I think beyond that, what we should be looking at is how do we begin to manufacture our own planes? How do we train aeronautics in our universities such that Nigerians can begin to ideate and think of manufacturing our own products that we can export to the world and not looking for more imports from countries who have established themselves and have made a name for themselves because their government invested in the people.
We'll take another story. Civil society groups have trooped out en masse in solidarity for Chioma Okoli, a pregnant mother of 3 children who has been embroiled in a legal battle with the manufacturer of Erisco Foods after posting a review of one of their tomato paste products on Facebook. The group, comprising Enough is Enough Nigeria, Purple Women Foundation, and Women Advocates Research and Documentation Center, began their walk tagged I Stand with Chioma Okoli around 8 a.m. in the Ikeja area of Lagos State. Well, the owner of Erisco Foods, Eric Umurfia, has come under fire in recent times after revealing in an interview with Adesua Giwa Osage that he would rather die than to allow anyone tarnish his image.
This company was established before Chioma was born. Whoever is that Chioma, 40 years ago, I was suffering for this company to establish it. Now, because of the rants, we will allow her to close our company down. I rather close the Erisco Food down and fight for my reputation, fight for my brand, fight for my good name before I die. I'm stubborn with my right, arrogant with my right. I don't no apology for it. And pompous with my right. I must do the right thing. I don't look for trouble. If you come for trouble, I'm ready for you. This she do is trouble. You are sabotaging my company. And the 7 years imprisonment, 7 million naira, or how many years imprisonment? That 3 years. So why must you go? Because you're a pregnant woman. In prison yard, there is a space where you can keep child. There's nothing more that there is where they not mother there. So if you think you can come and bully me to drop my case, I'm not dropping it. I rather die than to allow somebody to tarnish my image. I work 40 years to grow.
All right, this has been quite controversial. And just to note that this is, Women's Month. This is, the month for mothers and women. And, Chioma Okoli is out there. She's pregnant. He also stated in that video that, there are spaces for women in the prison yards as well. But before we take our conversation, this actual march as well, they said that it's in commemoration of Women's Day. So let me take my final story so we can all discuss both. We'll take our final story. Tony Elumelu, chairman of UBA and founder of the Elumelu Foundation on Monday in commemoration of International Women's Day, announced that his foundation has committed over $40 million in empowering female entrepreneurs in Africa since its inception. In his International Women's Day message, Elumelu stated that women occupy a large percentage of key positions in his foundation, UBA, and Hairs Holdings. The billionaire businessman also noted that he would continue to be a strong advocate for gender inclusion, having witnessed the transformative effect of investing in women. His tweet reads, "I am and will always be a strong advocate for inclusion in every area of life. I have witnessed firsthand the impact of investing in, working with, and learning from women. My first influence was my mother, whose experience as an entrepreneur serves as my initiation into a world where hard work translates to success." Well, here's a video of Tony Elumelu. A beautiful video. It's gotten over 1 million views. I mean, to all our viewers, I lost my mother about 2 years ago. I'll give anything.
And by Darun Linenu, Yabukwa Igbo Media, I see when I would take on Nupozia do Kemba. The guy say Konunkwa, and the guy say Nabambo, I would ike in a new update. Buye Bastama Kifene Mena and Igbo Bay and the Modo Winkanazo. Or Yabunkwa, I could and I can name is here. I was at the Kibiabo. You watch ya kita in Nina Kobia from Prime Minister. Go again soku, no dinkege. Nanchukota moge. Kali will detail in here. Mako Kiyaga Nesine Messi. What a bear equaten and boyano. What a by Slynol. But a Babylon net president. A Babylon vice president. Nothing. And the new Muyindi na Megasquano, Umuna is Okona Abo Famba. Mako Kive, they make it as Adrozi Asimo Guinea Mezi or the Carlo. Aratos the May Negodin Kobodo City. Came de one night workable Mazin and the Canon Boro. Akomakandibo. Can you Joe Miller? Macosna Nibo Gade, Macosna Gade. Na ga the kitchen nature da agwa. Owori ozo ejiji there. Joe ga odwa. Gini ka ejiji de mazin na ndeka no. Akwa cross ni Igbo ya ade. Because the give chitere ife abo Igbo media. Anyị na-asụ n'onu bayi. Ọnụnụ bayi ka anyị na-asụ. So because ọ bụ na ede anụ Igbo, iwe ewe na gị. Ọnụnụ bayi ka anyị ji akọwa ihe na-eme ebe a. Ka ego ọkwa na ya na-ekwu before. Unu ekwe n'iwe. Ka ife onye ndu melu. Ọ sị na ya na-eme mgbomgbe ndị Igbo na-abịa n'alụ ọ na-ewute ya. Simon Ekpapinia aya gbaba ya mgba ka e mere obedient movement. Akwa wuru okwu Maazị Nnamdi Kanu kwuru before ejide ya. They will never give you that president, that seat. Akwa doro na ya no Peter Obi winere mana nyere ya. Gịnị ka asị ya bụ? Mba. Igbo mana na ife. Maka oke esi na-ekwuzi okwu ọka ife ga na-esi na-emezi. Ọ bụ na ịkpọrọ onwe gị meeting. Chukwu onwe gị ọnụ, jụọ onwe gị ajụ a ka ebe ịkwụ n'obodo a bụ Nigeria. Ajụ nchọkwa onye ọbụla bụ onye Igbo na-ege m ntị n'elu akwụkwọ a jụọ onwe ya. Na na-ejicha onwe gị ya bụ ife isa ya. Ọ gwụna ka m n'ọnụ. Ihe a bụ Igbo Media. Daalụ n'ụmụnne.